doing today?
I'm alright. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. All right. Altria, right?
Yeah, but you can just call me Alyssa. That's my actual name.
Alyssa, word. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, Alyssa, um,
Mhm.
let's see. You were talking in the Valorant channel and you were asking for some help. You were asking for some help
Yeah.
on anxiety because your mechanics are trash in game, but you're doing good in practice.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know that's anxiety?
I just panic when I see um when I actually see enemies in game. I don't know why. It's just I'm really calm when I play deathmatch, and then I do fine in the range, and then in an actual game I can feel my heart rate spiking and pounding, and then
Okay,
I
can we try something?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Do you have the game open, right?
Yeah, it's
Can
loading right now.
Awesome. So when that's ready, can you stream it to me?
Mhm.
Word.
It's
Mm-mm.
really slow right now. I don't know why.
It's okay. Um, what does it look like in deathmatch that's different from how you play in game?
Um, Dude, that's a hard question. I guess because it feels like people's movement is different. Like everyone sort of just pushes and rushes without being sneaky or anything. So it's just really easy to to do good crosshair placement and then just tap heads.
True. True. Yeah. All right. So you feel like people's movement makes like the difference in people's movement. Um. Okay. So you're right about that. That people move and act differently in matches than
Hmm.
they do in deathmatch. But I was more so asking
Yeah.
what's different, what looks different about how you play when you do it. So like what do you practice in deathmatch in the range that doesn't translate over to the game?
Mostly, if I don't know if you watch Hutin's videos, but it's like the over aim and the dead zoning drills. But I just don't do that in an actual game. I just
You do it in
kind of
deathmatch?
yeah, I kind of do it in deathmatch. Not exactly like in the drills, but I can see or I can just consciously think about it. But
Mhm.
in an actual game, it's how do I describe it? It's just I try to counter strafe and stuff, and then I also try to micro adjust a little bit, but those two actions are completely uncoordinated as compared to practice.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
so here's what we're gonna do. Can you click competitive real quick?
Hmm.
Okay, can you put your mouse over the start button? How are you feeling?
Neutral.
Neutral, just neutral?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Word.
The anxiety doesn't start until the game starts.
Until the game starts. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Mm-mm. Um, Let me think. So, what about the game starting makes you anxious? Is it like seeing a map and getting anxious, seeing your team and getting anxious,
Locking in.
locking in?
Yeah.
Because that's when you can't dodge anymore.
Not exactly. It's just I'm a jet main and already like gives me anxiety because I started thinking about entering and stuff. So yeah.
Have you always been a jet main?
Yeah, I've tried not being a jet main, but I find that other than Fade, I don't really like playing the other agents.
So sometimes a fade.
Yeah.
Keyword. All right. Um. So say, let's imagine. We can imagine, gonna paint a beautiful picture. The score is, we'll say it's like 4-3, so you're winning by a round, and you're on
Mhm.
attack, and you're entering onto the site on Ascent, A site, the one with the generator, right?
Yeah.
So you see an enemy on your screen, but this is a comp game. What happens?
I started thinking about like just wanting to kill them, and then I tried to like dead zone, and then I just missed all of my shots, and then they one tap me.
Okay. Can you hop into a deathmatch and show me your dead zoning?
Hmm.
Let's do it. Hip hip hooray. Do you play any modes besides deathmatch and comp?
Unrated and team deathmatch mostly.
How does it go in those?
Unrated, I'd say same exact results as comp. Team deathmatch, kind of bad, but I get matched against people who are like diamond and immortal, and like I'm clearly like bronze, silver, elo. So, um, I don't know. That's a good judgment of my
Hmm.
abilities right now.
Do you panic as much in those two game modes?
Unrated, yes. I feel like I panic just as much as comp, but team deathmatch, I don't really care.
Okay. What about Swift play? Do you play Swifts?
Not really.
Right. Before anybody shows up, show me the dead zoning.
Mhm. Oh, oh. Great.
Go for it.
Oh God, it's hard to do without a person standing like right in front of me.
Hmm. Pick a point on the wall. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, oh.
Nice. Nice. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So go take a gunfight. I don't even need you to click on them. Yeah, perfect. So just
Oh.
do that, right? So I don't
Mhm.
actually need you to focus on aiming on them. I just want
Mhm.
you to click on the dead zone timing and like just focus on that timing and nothing else. Like you don't even have to shoot them. Just shoot. It doesn't have to hit them. That make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Gosh, people are so fast.
Mhm. Okay. I noticed that you're not always shooting on your first strafe. Sometimes you're waiting until the second or third strafe to shoot. Why is that?
Hmm. I just tried to take some extra time to make sure my crosshairs on their head.
Word. Okay. I did not tell you to put your crosshair on their head, though. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
right.
I told you to
Yeah.
just dead zone and
Okay.
focus on that timing rather than anything else. So give that a shot.
Okay.
So just as
So
soon.
just focus on doing that.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. How do you feel about this?
Calmer actually than like how I normally would feel in a death match, which is very interesting because I feel
So,
like I'm already calm in death match.
all right. So the thing about dead zoning is that it gives you all this movement, right? And this movement
Yeah.
has this magical property where people don't know how to shoot you because you're fucking moving. It's crazy, right?
Mhm.
So you have more time than you think, and because of that, you because you don't think you have as much time, it's harder
Mhm.
for you to understand that like you can just throw out the first shot and let that like first. Okay. So
Mhm.
the way you get your first shot should always be crosshair placement, right? Agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So crosshair placement, and then you miss that, fine, but you move. You know how to dead zone, you know how to move, so you have all this time to practice and keep doing that. Okay, so keep going. We're gonna add a few things. We're gonna see what
Okay.
happens. Your mouse died? What's that? You see that? Your mouse jumped up? Was that the stream lagging?
Yeah. That was like, I think I stepped onto some weird elevated spot on the map, and it threw me off a lot.
Okay, word. Oh, my knife.
I was trying to get back to
Uh,
try to isolate that one person, but yeah, it
okay.
didn't work.
Okay, word. So again, you're just focused on dead zoning and nothing else here. Alright, dead zone out a wall real quick, because I'm starting to see more blue lines. So practice without an enemy for a second, just to make sure that it's still there.
Nope.
You see that?
Yeah.
So you're just taking some time to bring it back. Alright, now go back to shooting enemies.
Dominating. Nope. Didn't see that.
Then blue bars again.
Yeah.
Okay, word. Alright. Alright. So what about that deathmatch was different for you?
Focusing on dead zoning, 'cause I don't usually do that in a deathmatch. I kind of just go
You
and
kind of
do
just
whatever.
go and do
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, cool, right? So
Yeah.
that was kind of what I wrote too, is I wrote down here that we were isolating skills. And it also, I think it was easier for you when you were isolating skills because you're practiced and you're confident on your ability to dead zone.
Mhm.
As opposed to your ability to take a fight and win a fight is different, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
that's like a whole picture. You need all the different colors, but you've been practicing how to use red, right? And you need red
Mhm.
and blue and orange and pink to draw sunset. So
Yep.
it's just like one at a time is going to make it a lot easier to put everything together. So it's
Mhm.
kind of the same as like, um, well, I kind of already explained it with the painting, but I think one way that we can really help right now is just when we go into deathmatch and we practice these things, we're focused on one part at a time and noticing the reward of that part, right? So what's the
Mhm.
reward of dead zoning? If your crosshair placement is shit, if your aim is shit, what is the benefit of dead zoning?
The other person can't one tap you.
Can't one tap, right? So
Mhm.
you are much harder target to hit,
Yeah.
right? And then how does that
Yes.
help the other skills like crosshair placement and aim?
It gives you more time to think about them.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Okay. So one of the important parts about dead zoning and why dead zoning is something valuable that we practice is that it's one of the skills that makes it the easiest to like be bad at the other things, right?
Mhm.
Um and I'm going to pull up, where is it? No, wait, is that the one that I want? Let me think. Um yeah, I'll pull up this one. So I'm
Mhm.
going to stream to you now.
Yep.
So I have this one. So this is my levels of focus chart, right? So what this
Mhm.
basically expresses is that there's different levels at which you can practice a skill. You've been right here for a while, right? I
Yeah.
don't know if you've been visualizing. Visualizing is really fucking good. You should use it when you can. But
Okay.
hold on, give me a sec. If I click this, that. Okay, weird. So yeah, you've been practicing the range. The thing is, there are more and more things for you to focus on as things go up. In the range,
Mhm.
there is no pressure to hit your shots at all. In
Yeah.
deathmatch, there is some pressure to hit your shots, which is why it's up here. In team deathmatch, there's a little bit more. In swift play, there's a bit more.
Mhm.
Unrated, there's more, and in ranked, there's more, and then in pro play and league matches, there's the most, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think part of the problem that you've been dealing with is that you've been doing this in the range. You're focused on so kind of, yeah, like this little guy right here. You've been focused on dead zoning, and then when you go to play deathmatch, you're focused on fighting, which is a whole different skill that you actually can't really practice in the range, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard
Mhm.
for you to implement these things, bring it, because you're trying to bring it from the range all the way up to ranked,
Mhm.
and you're not letting yourself bring that specific skill into the next level, which is deathmatch. And then if you wanted to go to like swift play, or if you wanted to go to unrated, or if you wanted to go straight to ranked, right?
Mhm.
So focusing on those specific skills and reaping the benefits of those is going to be really good. Another thing is,
Mm.
if you're not dead zoning, so say you're in ranked and you're panicking, you're not dead zoning, what are you doing instead?
Um, just trying to figure out what the enemy team is doing.
No, when you take a fight.
Oh, in a fight.
Yep. If you don't dead
Um,
zone, what do you do? If you're panicking, so you're not using your dead zoning habit, what do you use instead?
either just spray and pray or just like trying to flick, but obviously missing because I'm panicking.
Okay. Why do you spray and pray?
Panic.
Panic. That's the that is what causes your brain to use that habit. What is the purpose of that
Mm.
habit?
Um, good question.
Right? Okay. So you don't need to
Yeah.
answer it right now. But habits exist for us to make us do the safest option in times of stress with minimal effort. We also
Mhm.
have, fun fact, your body is pretty much made of memory. And
Mhm.
some of that memory includes things like if you see a tiger run, you don't have to think about that, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a habit so deeply ingrained in your own survival that like it's literally like in our entire species and in fact most of nature to if there's something really scary to run away from it.
Mhm.
The thing about spraying and praying is that you're gambling because it's literally RNG, which means that when you do that, you're putting it kind of just like out into the random instead of trusting yourself to win the gunfight. But we already
Mhm.
know you don't trust yourself to win gunfights because you don't practice those the same way.
Yeah.
Does this all make sense? You understanding so far?
Mhm.
Do you have any questions?
Nope. Makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Um, so the way that you break a habit is you don't. Breaking habits is really fucking hard. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Replace the
Mhm.
habits, okay? If you smoke
Mhm.
cigarettes and you want to stop smoking cigarettes, you do not just like quit entirely. You, instead of going outside for a smoke break, you go outside for a lollipop break. Or you start to like meditate, or you start to like, you replace the habit with something that functions similarly and has a
Mhm.
similar relationship to stress specifically. So this stress, I'd also guess that you click really hard on your mouse and really hard on the crouch button when you do this. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's you like expressing that stress through your body, right? You're like tensing up, like you're balling your fist.
Mhm.
That's you expressing that stress. So what we want to do is replace spray and pray with a different habit that functions better. So if your goal is to survive the gunfight, right?
Mhm.
Which one of these is better? To spray in one, crouch in one spot and spray, or to move back and forth? Which one of these has a higher chance of allowing you to survive the gunfight?
Move back and forth.
Right, okay. Can we prove that? Because I believe you, I think you believe you, does your body believe you?
No.
No, your body doesn't believe you yet. So here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna do another death match. For the first 3 minutes of the death match, we're going to spray and pray. And we're going to pay attention to whether or not we survive the gunfight, okay? And then for another 3 minutes, we're going to move back and forth. Again,
Okay.
what is the goal of these gunfights?
To see which one works better
Works better at what? Specifics.
at making sure that you're still alive.
Still alive, right? So is our goal to win the gunfight?
No.
Absolutely not, right? So we're going to move back and forth. So I'm thinking we can do like 3 to 4 strafes per fight. And then we leave the fight.
Okay.
People might get upset at you for doing this in a deathmatch. It's really funny. But we're going to do 3 to 4 strafes and then leave the fight. That's going to be after spray and pray. So open the deathmatch again. We're going to go again.
Yep.
We're going to do an experiment. We're going to prove to your body that this is a better idea than what we've been doing. Let's do it. How are you feeling so far?
Pretty good. More confident.
You sound a little excited.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm very glad. Do you like this map?
No.
Well, that makes one of you. We're
Do
beefing
you
now.
like it?
I love Lotus. I love 3-site
Oh my
maps.
god.
Maybe it's because I play a lot of smokes, but
Makes sense. Level 677? Oh, Jesus.
well, good thing there's only one of those.
Yep.
All right. So what are we doing for the first 3 minutes? I mean, okay, for the warm up, just do whatever. Don't focus
Okay.
on anything in specific. But
Mhm.
for the first 3 minutes of the deathmatch, you're going to spray and pray, right?
Right. Mhm.
And then we're gonna like just let that habit happen. Experiment with it. See how it feels. See if you are like pressing down on your mouse, like I said you were, or if I lied about that. And see how it goes. And actually, while you're doing this, you're not focusing on anything. I would say pay attention to like your arm, like in your hand. What parts of your mouse are you using to aim? Check right
Right.
here. Did you use your fingers there?
Arm.
Arm? That was an arm? You're an arm aimer. That's so real. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a timer. You won't get to see it. I get to see it. For 3 minutes. And you're going to spray and pray. Go ahead.
Okay.
You spray with the Vandal?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even get to click at all.
And we're paying attention to how quickly you lost the fight. How
Yeah.
quickly you died. How long did you survive?
Mhm.
All right, now put your hands on your head, like you're really
Mm-hmm.
surprised about something real quick. Close your eyes
Mm-hmm.
and think about the practice you do dead zoning, right? So we're going to practice the visualization here. So think about the buttons that you press, the muscles that you use in your hands, and what it looks like on the screen when you do that. What does it sound like with the skin that you're using when that happens? All
Yep.
right. Open
Mm-hmm.
eyes. We go do this. You ready?
Okay.
Go.
Mm-hmm. Wait, this is the strafing, right? The
Yeah.
3 to 4 strafes.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 to 4 strafes. Your job is to survive, not win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you should still shoot because we're practicing dead zoning, right?
Oh.
So the timing there.
Oh.
You want to fight,
Right.
but only for 3 or 4 strafes.
Okay.
We are experiencing a flaw of deathmatch.
Yeah.
We did not get to practice it. 'Tis the way of the
Barely.
deathmatch.
Yeah.
'Tis the way of the deathmatch. But what did you notice about your spraying there? What did you find out about that in that practice?
Definitely died. I probably would have killed a lot of those people if I just did the shaping right then and there instead of spraying and praying.
Right. I also saw
Yeah.
the strafing started to mix in with the spraying. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So as we let that habit naturally happen, we start to, and we don't like try to make it anything, right? This is an important part. You don't want to force it to do anything. You let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
As we let that habit happen, it will start to experiment and try different versions of it and be like, okay, what happens if we do it this way? What happens if I press the button not as hard? What happens if I strafe? What happens if I spray for less bullets and then strafe, right? It will just
Mm-hmm.
naturally do that.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know it would do that?
No, it kind of just happened automatically.
Yup, because your brain wants to improve on that habit naturally, right?
Yeah.
It just wants to. So, as awesome as it has been that you've been practicing dead zoning, you haven't been letting yourself explore and implement the consequences of that habit. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That was kind of wordy.
Yeah.
Okay, word.
No, it makes total sense.
Awesome. Hell yeah. So, do you have any questions so far?
No, this is coming together pretty well, actually.
I know, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I think it helps. So, I think it helps that we did one DM where we were just doing the strafing. I think that helped a lot. So we did
Mm-hmm.
get one with the strafing and one with the spraying, even if we didn't get to practice the strafing after.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, what are your big takeaways so far?
Um, just focus on one thing when doing death matches, and instead of trying to do everything all at once. That's like my biggest takeaway here.
Mm-hmm. And what about this last DM we played?
Um, Spraying and praying is not the best um solution to a lot of gunfights, and um a lot of these, like, I guess as I start working on this one thing, it's gonna naturally go through a lot of like variations that lead to improvement overall.
Right. You will naturally, unconsciously experiment, right? With
Yeah.
your habits as you use them. So
Mm-hmm.
the problem is you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've been avoiding spraying and praying in deathmatch and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you've never had the time to be like, okay, what benefit do I get from this? What muscles am I using to make this happen? What is the difference in feeling between that habit and this habit? You've
Mm-hmm.
just been trying to avoid this one and do this one. And that's
Yeah.
hard because in rank, there's so much to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. That's really important. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We also practice visualization. Unfortunately,
Yep.
we didn't get to see if it worked. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, so there was this study done by some, they grabbed a bunch of basketball players and they had one of them do no practice. They had
Mm-hmm.
one group of them do no practice. One of them did I think 3-pointer free throw practice, just like every
Mm-hmm.
day. And the other ones did the same amount of practice, but they didn't practice, they just visualized it. And they were taught how to
Mm-hmm.
visualize as well. And I think the people who really practiced, I think it was like an improvement of 34%. And then the people who
Mm-hmm.
visualized improved, I think it was like 33.3% or something like that.
Oh, whoa.
So it actually was pretty close.
That's
And
insane.
yeah, now I don't know how they taught those people how to visualize the practice. I would hope I can do something similar. I don't know for sure, but it's worth at least doing and practicing, especially since it uses so much less of your energy to do it.
Yeah.
Um, and you have so much more control over the situation when you do that. So that death match, you saw there was a level 600 person, and those people were playing very differently than the people on the last one, as well as it seems like you weren't as comfortable on that map. So there were a lot of
Yeah.
factors there that were out of your control. Fun fact about visualization, doesn't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get more specific about it. And another thing, just one more. You do need to know, like, how you need to understand and know the motion that you've done in real life before you can visualize it the same. So,
Right.
like, you've practiced dead zoning so much, and that's why I think visualization could work well.
Okay.
Um, and then let's see, as well as let's just dive real quick into where the anxiety comes from, and then I'll let you go because I am curious because you seem like you're really good at these fights. So what do you think will happen in a ranked game if you lose all these fights?
I ranked down and I bot frag.
Yeah, well, it's just a game, right? Why is that important to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Mhm. What does it feel like to bottom frag?
um, I feel like a failure.
Okay, so we found it,
Yep.
right? And that's really fucking scary, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
don't blame you. Your body is trying to do whatever is immediately a good idea, and it thinks that's crouch spraying, or it did, or it's working on it, right? It
Mm-hmm.
has learned that that is crouch spraying because it's trying to protect you from feeling like a failure.
Mm.
That to me sounds like, especially, I don't know your life, but feeling like a failure or being a failure sounds just as scary as a tiger to me.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that your body wouldn't let you experiment and try things, and it would instead go to what it believes is the safest and best option, right?
Yeah.
Now would you be a failure for going down to Iron 3?
No.
No?
I don't know it's the right answer, but my body's telling me yes.
Yeah, why? Why would that be? Why? And this one I don't think you'll have an answer for, but you might. So please, if you do. But
Mhm.
why would deranking to Iron 3 be why would deranking define who you are overall as a person?
Because it shows that I'm not capable of improving.
Is that true?
No, obviously, but
We saw that
that's
today.
just what. Yeah,
I told you to
but
crouch
that's what
spray
my
and you
brain tells
started, yeah, of course. I
me.
told you to crouch spray and you just started not crouch spraying. You started strafing between the crouch sprays. I didn't tell you to do
Yeah.
that. You just did that, right?
Mhm.
That was really cool. You should be proud of yourself, Alyssa. That was
Yeah.
freaking awesome, right? So it
Mhm.
shows that you're not capable of improving. Have you improved at things before?
Yeah. Slowly, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think that as you play the game and you notice how far you've come, it'll be easier for you to recognize that, right? It won't be like, I've always been bronze, I've always been this or that. Like, you can see yourself improving, and that'll help.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
but also, like, I don't know about you, but is there things in your life that you've improved at? I don't know if you knew how to walk or talk when you were a kid, but you seem to have gotten better at that over time. Is there anything else
Yeah,
that
a little
comes to
better.
mind?
Music definitely. I play clarinet and piano, and then skateboarding.
Oh, you skateboard?
Yeah.
Where'd I work at a skate shop?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Do you skate too?
I do not have the money for a board. I used to skate when I was a kid. I'm saving up right now because I really do want to do it again. But like I go
Oh,
to
nice.
events at my local skate parks and stuff. It's always cool. They got concerts and shit.
Ooh,
I
my
know,
local is trash, but
right?
that sounds really fun.
It is, right? So, skating has this thing just as a culture. First of all, they hate cops. Second one
Mhm.
is they fall a lot and they break so much of their body
Yeah.
unnecessarily, right?
Mhm.
But we get up and we try the shit again.
Yeah.
Every time I'm at the skate park, I see somebody between the ages of like 7 to 40 trying to do a trick that they don't know how to do. And they do it over and over and over. And in those moments, I'm watching somebody like kind of try to figure out how to stop crouch spraying or try to figure out how to play the clarinet. Like it's all just this human experience of trying something over and over and making small adjustments to it until it's something beautiful and representative of what they wanted to accomplish, of who they wanted to present as to the world, right?
Yeah.
Because who you are in your mind and who you want to be are not like the whole point of life is that you have to translate that into action. And that's hard. And we don't know how to do that. And we don't teach people how to do that, right?
Mhm.
So the
Yeah.
fact that you are getting so good at so many different things, but you're bronze in Valorant and you're shitting on yourself for that is kind of frustrating, Alyssa. That makes me very sad. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? Yeah?
Yeah, it feels when you put it in that perspective, it feels so small compared to like everything else in life.
Mm-hmm. And in the moment when you're playing Valorant and there's like 9 people on in the match that are watching you do that, and maybe you're streaming it to a friend or two, and there's an extra, so there's 11 people watching it. Or even if you
Mhm.
were on, you were do you play 10 mans at Galorants?
Once, a long time ago,
Uh-uh-uh. When
maybe.
when you play 10 mans, there's even more people watching you. But
Yeah.
no matter what, it's the same thing, right? Like it doesn't matter how many people are at the skate park, you're gonna keep trying the trick, right?
Yeah.
For sure. So I love the idea of just like bringing that attitude, your clarinet attitude, and all of that into Valorant because even though it feels like everything is just on this screen, here's the thing to try for your anxiety. Do you have a window in your room?
Mhm.
Look out the window.
I'm looking out the window.
The Valorant is not there. There's no Valorant there.
Mhm.
And in the skate park behind, I don't know if your skate park has like fences or anything, but like outside the fence there's a whole world of people who don't skate and who don't
Yeah.
care if you skate and who don't care if you
Mhm.
land this. And outside that window there's so many people who don't give a shit if you fucking whiff at Valorant.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, Alyssa, I'm one of them. I don't really care if you whiff or not. I care that you feel really bad when you whiff and you get all this anxiety and you're not seeing yourself improve in the way you want to. I care about that. And
Oh,
that is
yeah.
kind of upsetting. But
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I think you've proved that you can do that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so this wave is going to last like 3 days, 4 days, so you can pay
Mhm.
me for another session. Just kidding. Um, yeah. Do you have any questions before we go? I'm working on your notes.
No, this is really, like, really helpful. I've never thought about this stuff, like, ever, and now that it's kinda in my mind, in the back of my mind, it's like it feels I guess the game feels a lot more fun.
Hell yeah, and you haven't even played it yet. Right? So, encourage you to play some comp. Encourage you also to pay attention to your anxiety. Try to figure out what's going on there. That, like, why is it such a big deal to feel like a failure? Think about being at a skate park or playing the clarinet, right? Because
Yeah.
the sour note sounds really bad, but it only echoes for a few seconds. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and if you have anybody that would also like coaching, let me know. Also, are you comfortable with me uploading this session on my VOD channel?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome, cool. I can send it to you so you can look back on it if you ever need to and think about all these nice things that Gabby said to me. And then she said how she doesn't care if I whiff or not. Right?
Yes.
Hell
And I'll
yeah.
always have Gabby in the back of my mind telling me not to freak out.
Dude, I hate when people say that. It sounds like my voice is spreading like a cancer. It's insane. It's awesome though. Cool. Dope. All right. Good luck with your games, Alyssa.
Hey, thank you so much, Gabby. This is like really helpful. I'm
You're
really
welcome.
glad that you offered to help.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
It's that easy.